board. I want to say hi, hey, hello, welcome to the Spring Wheel with Me Foundation Empowerment. It's been a while since I've been here. My name is Jesi Stracham, like a straw you drink from, ham you eat. I am the founder of Wheel with Me Foundation, and I am joined today by two of our amazing board members, Anna and Lindsay. If you guys don't know them, check them out. Anna shares amazing stuff online as far as like accessibility, ADA, and just life. And then Lindsay has Wheel Good Motherhood. It's just an awesome mom page. 10 out of 10, recommend checking them both out. They're awesome individuals. But thank you guys. Thank you for joining us. We had a big attendance for tonight as far as registrations, and I'm hoping that this doesn't mess it up. But if you can't stay the whole time with the time change, don't worry, a recording is coming to your inbox. And tonight's really, really important. So if there's somebody that you're like, man, I wish they were here, they could benefit from this, whether it's one of your loved ones, your doctor, a friend, please share the recording with them. It will be a public YouTube link. This is very, very important for us all to get on board with because at some point we will all be impacted, and I will get into that shortly. Before we get started, does anyone have anything they want to share? Any questions? Anything like that? Take a sip of water. See, we just still have people joining. All the people joining.
Is it okay if I'm eating dinner over here?
Girl, you are fine. It's not a problem. You know how I am. Low key, you guys live your life, eat your dinner, do your things. iPhone, could you please change your name to at least your first name so we know you're a legit person? If not, I will have to kick you out of the Zoom room. And Zoom user, I'm going to ask that you please change your name. If you hover over your thing, there's three dots and it's just rename. Just rename yourself with your first name if you're not comfortable sharing your full name. Just for safety reasons in the Zoom, we just want to make sure you're a real person, you're legitimate, all the above.
Mhm.
All right, one more minute and then we're gonna get started. So primarily for tonight, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pin myself and I'm actually gonna share my screen. I have this whole little presentation. Be sure if you have a question, take note of it, write it down or drop it in the chat. At the end, what we're gonna do is we are going to dive into all those questions, all the above, and just make sure that you guys have a good idea of what's going on and what's gonna happen. And then you should be able to click your picture to change your name. Yeah, the dots. That's what. Thank you, Lindsay. If you click your picture, if you're on your phone, there's some dots and it will say change my name or rename. Um, that will do it for you. And then do you I'm gonna just message you privately. If you guys both would just message Lindsay or Anna and just like let them know what your name is and we can just cross-reference it just to know you're, like I said, a real person. Autumn, welcome. Glad to have you here. We are joined by another board member, Miss Autumn.
Also, the iPhone and Zoom user, you can just turn on your camera real quick so we can just see that you're a real person and then you can turn it right back off. That's another thing we can do if that
Ah,
helps.
thanks. Hey, good to see you. It's been so long. Oh my gosh. Thank you,
Zoom
Lindsay.
user left. Zoom user left. But iPhone, if you could just like quickly turn on your camera and we just give us a little wave, that's another way we can do it. If you're having a hard time renaming it, that's just for security reasons because we've had some weird things
Happen. Yeah.
unfortunately happen. Yeah, but that's all you got to do. So please do that soon if you can. Thanks.
Thank you, Lindsay.
I just want to say hi, Jesse.
Hey, Angie. Good to see
I
you
miss
guys.
you.
I know Caitlin's on here. Excited for that too. Just a lot of familiar faces. I'm always so stoked to see you guys. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. I think this other iPhone is Chris Quant just dropped in. Yeah, there we go. Hey, hi, good
Yay!
to see you too. Oh my gosh, all these familiar faces. This is beautiful.
It
Awesome.
won't let me change my name.
It's okay. I know you. We're good to
Okay.
go.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So what I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm going to share my screen and we're gonna go from there. Let me pull this bad boy up. We're going to scroll back up to the beginning. There we go. Let me put that up like that. All right, so we're going to talk about competitive bidding and your medical supplies tonight. And like I said, just any notes that you have, anything you guys like, any questions that come up, anything you're thinking about, just note it down, whether it's putting it in your phone or writing it down if you're able, whatever it is. Just be sure to save those questions for the end because we're going to dive into this. So last year, I worked for WellSpect Healthcare. And if you guys don't know, WellSpect Healthcare is Low-Fric catheters, Navina transanal irrigation. I was a brand ambassador for them for 8 years. And during my time with them, I got to learn the game of DME, the people supplying our supplies, but then also what the government's doing when it comes to our supplies. And so competitive bidding is kind of a scary thing, and we're going to dive into why here in a minute, but I've been lobbying against this since last year. So this is not a new thing. It's just a bill that got passed kind of in secret, which go figure, right? It's the government. So a little bit about me for those that don't know me. My name is Jesi Stracham, like a straw you drink from, ham you eat. It's just Jesi. That is my full legal name. I've had spinal cord injury since 2015, which means I've used catheters since 2015. I worked for a DME shortly after I got paralyzed, was a brand ambassador for a catheter manufacturer, and then learned the ins and outs. And I became a sales rep for an end user owned and operated company called Lott Med or UMed. I know some of you guys have UMed. And so just awesome supply company owned by somebody who's been paralyzed since the early thousands. He also got tired of the DME game and so created a whole company. And then I am the founder of the Wheel With Me organizations. We have the nonprofit Wheel With Me Foundation, which again, thank you guys for coming to our empowerments. And then Wheel With Me Adapt Fit, which is a downloadable fitness platform that I co-launched with Nikki Walsh. And we just wanted to give our community a space for fitness. So be sure to check that out if you haven't seen it. So competitive bidding on urology, ostomy, and wound care supplies is already law. It's already into effect, or it's not into effect, but it's already been passed. So here's the thing, laws pass, but then they don't go into effect for a couple of years. So we don't see the negative impacts of this yet because it hasn't went into effect and it won't until 2027 to 2028. They have not currently created an end date for that. Um, the thing about this is it's not a rumor, it is not a proposal, it is done. And so it has been passed, has been agreed on December 2nd of 2025. It was buried inside of a home health payment bill. And a lot of like that's why a lot of people don't know about this. When we were lobbying in DC last year, they did a lot of the constituent or the workers in the House and Senate, they didn't even know this was happening. They weren't aware, they didn't even know it was happening because it was buried so deep inside of a home bill. It's not even its own situation. So like anything, what they're doing is they're putting all DME products from urological, ostomy, and wound care supplies on the chopping block, essentially, which we'll dive into that a little bit more. And there's a federal document, which I'll share with you guys so you can see. But let's talk about the wonderful world of DME. Like, how the heck did we get here? The amount of fraud is truly astronomical. So there's this data that you can look at in the back end, and I don't want to dive in too deep on that to bore you guys, but there's this data and it shows you who prescribes the most catheters by code in your area. And in Charlotte alone, our top prescribers are cardiologists and family practitioners. And then number three on the list is a urologist. If you could please mute yourself, I'm going to mute you. Where's that coming from? Mute you. There we go. And so the number one catheter referrer in Charlotte is a cardiologist, not even a urologist. The urologist is number three, who's my spinal cord injury urologist. And so what's happening is a lot of these people are buying DMEs, using the physician's number and the patient's insurance, billing Medicaid, Medicare, and then not sending supplies. So that's where the fraud is coming from. A lot of DMEs are actually gatekeeping products to fill their pocket. So sometimes we're not even offered the best products. I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but I've experienced where the DME is like, hey, your insurance won't pay for that. We have to switch you to this. And it was like a gel catheter from a hydrophilic. And I was like, whoa, 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 wait a minute. I know this game. I know that's not the case. And I end up switching suppliers because I'm not just a money bag. I also deserve to use the products I want to use, just as you guys. You deserve to use the products you want to use. Um, at the end of the day, everything we use, from our wheelchair, our urological needs, our ostomy needs, wound care needs, we're filling someone's pocket, right? It is a business, and we do, keep that in mind. But these people are taking advantage of not only us, but also Medicaid, Medicare in some situations. Um, and a little story about how they're kind of gatekeeping. So when I was in the field, this was just recently too, I was in the field with WellSpect, and we went into an office, and the office said, hey, I only deal with this DME. If you want to do a lunch with us, you have to schedule through them. Not a problem. We call the DME up. And he's like, oh, well, I'm loyal to this other manufacturer in that office, so I can't schedule a lunch there. And so what happened was that DME was gatekeeping that office from even having options of other products for their patients, playing favorites to one manufacturer. And this happens often. And so, like, I say this to say, you guys, you have choices on your brand of wheelchair, your brand of catheters, your brand of ostomy supplies. You have choices. You just have to find a DME that's willing to give you the choices. Something we're seeing, side note, in the wheelchair world is a lot of places are pushing key mobility chairs and saying, like, oh, this is the best chair, when really it's a heavier, bulkier chair. They just make more money on it than a Tylite or Quickie. And so now it's even happening in the wheelchair world. It happens everywhere. So the more you know, the more you educate yourself, the more you can advocate for yourself as well. Um, Let's talk about competitive bidding. I don't know, my text didn't change on this one, so I'm gonna stop the screen share for a second and explain what this means. Um, Man, dude, competitive bidding's scary. So currently in the United States, we have over 6,000 suppliers to choose from for our catheter, ostomy, urology products. 6,000 DME suppliers to choose from. Okay?
Wow.
They want to go down to 8 nationwide. From 6,000 suppliers to 8 per catheter code. So that's 8 for a straight catheter, 8 for a Coude catheter, 8 for a closed system, 8 for a hydrophilic catheter. 6,000 to 8. And that's a massive jump when we think about it. And think about your current DME situation, right? How often do they get it right? A lot of times. How often do you go to call them and you can't talk to a real person the way it is? Now imagine like that person that you know and love. Like, for example, if you're on service with me, you get to call me up. You talk to me, you talk to your rep. Whereas if you go from 6,000 suppliers to 8, that goes away. Not only that, um, the government awards these supply contracts to the cheapest regional bidder only. And so if we're bidding cheaply, that's a race to the bottom. What's going to happen to these supplies we use that might cost them a little bit more money? Might not be as beneficial on their end. Do you think you're going to get that option? I personally, like, I love the brand I've used. I've used it since 2017. It's kept me UTI free. It's been a life changer for me, and it's the product I love. No different than you guys have the brand you use and love and you have for years. What happens is this will be for Medicare, Medicaid, for CMS, the Center of Medicaid Services or Medicare Services within the government. But our private insurances, like if you're like, oh, well, that doesn't impact me. I don't use that insurance. I use private insurance. Private insurances base their coverage off of what Medicaid, Medicare is doing. And I didn't learn that until I was working with the manufacturer when transanal irrigation became covered. Once Medicare picked it up, you best believe all these private insurance, we have no issues getting it covered anymore because Medicare picked it up. They are the example. And so it's only a matter of time before this trickles down to everywhere else. Even if you're not on government insurance currently. Um, so if like your current supplier could be eliminated overnight, which is kind of it's a little bit worrisome. It's not about your supplier changing their prices, changing their catalog. It's just literally about them no longer existing anymore. They go away. And again, big negative impacts. A couple more things we're going to dive into, but let's get back to the little presentation situation. The timeline on this. We're like, okay, Jesi, what's this look like? December 2025, the rule was finalized. There's no going back. It's done, right? 2026 is our advocacy window. This is the time we have, and we're already 3 months into it, going on 4 months into it. We're 3.5 months into our advocacy window to try and get this overturned. And if we are loud enough, we can make it happen. I don't know how many remembered at the end of the Biden administration, they had passed the Airline Act to protect us on flights. And then all of a sudden that got overturned the middle of 2025 last year. I don't know if we remember that. When it got overturned, it's because the airlines sued the federal government saying that it impeded their ability to do business. It wasn't the government that overturned it. It was the airlines who sued the federal government. And I say that to say that if we are loud enough and we get enough of our people on board with us, we have the opportunity to use our voice to make a difference. 2027 to 2028 is implementation. That's when the contracts are going to be awarded and suppliers and the employees within that business will be eliminated. And that means me. That means there's other wheelchair users that work and catheter users that work for UMed and Lott Med. It's owned by by somebody with a spinal cord injury. There's people with spina bifida, spinal cord injuries, other catheter users, all in here serving. And we're just one company within this big thing. So you know that if we, we're just one that's losing jobs. A lot of DMEs are owned by wheelchair users. A lot of suppliers or sales reps are actually wheelchair users. So now you're costing us our job, which is also, it's crazy. It's like you're not seeing the long-term impacts of this because what's a job that's easy for us to do when we know the products and use the products? It's not like other things. So we're eliminating employment with this as well. What else goes away? Well, nothing's set in stone, but we know that anytime there's a change, it's usually the most expensive items first. So there isn't currently a contract for hydrophilic catheters. There is a code that got passed last year for them, but there isn't currently a contract for that. So they are the most effective, most inexpensive. They are clinically proven to reduce UTIs. And there is a chance of the brand you currently using not being available under the new bill. Same thing with closed systems. You might go from having an option of a hydrophilic closed system with your speedy cats and things like that to having to go to a basic gel catheter, BARD system, something like that. And so you might have to change that product. You might not even have a choice of product. You might go from, I personally, I use the Lofric L with a little handle. I might have to go from that to just a basic straight catheter. So this is something that can literally impact you because DMEs right now, they play favoritism to manufacturers. Now, if they don't have favorable pricing when this whole thing changes, do you think that they're going to offer all products out there if they have favorable pricing for this one, but not this one? It's again, to most of them, it's a money thing. It's not about the people that actually use the products. And then again, jobs for the community, right? Like Bamber, the guy I work for, he started Lott Med UMed just so that end users had somebody that understood what they needed and understood them, and DMEs would stop taking the money from us. Um, so it's kind of scary, right? It's like, holy crap. Like, I didn't even know this was happening. Did you guys know this? If it given me a little head nod, do you know this was happening? Did you hear about this before, this happened, right? They don't educate us what's actually going to happen to us. And the thing that's frustrating is it's not just catheters. If anyone has an ostomy, your favorite ostomy supplies are on the chopping block. Hi, I've been in wound care now for like almost a year. And those wound care supplies also on the chopping block. And so now the things that really help us stay independent are on the chopping block. Let's talk about the time this didn't work. The government has tried competitive bidding in the past with diabetes supplies. And the American Association of Diabetes Educators found that supplies participating in the competitive bidding program were failing to provide access to insulin pumps and related supplies. Patients were being denied pumps entirely or forced onto products not of their choosing. Many suppliers only offered one brand. It failed miserably. And now they want to do this to our catheter, ostomy, and wound care supplies, even though it failed in the past. What makes them think it's going to work here? Um, it's really, really scary because it's actually illegal. And we all know that this government loves to just not do what's right at this point. So urology and ostomy supplies are considered prosthetic devices. Under the Social Security Act 1861 S8, it's saying that ostomy and urological supplies are defined as prosthetic devices because what they're doing is they're replacing organ function. So they're literally replacing the function, catheters replacing the function of our sphincter to release our urine to drain our bladder, and the ostomy replacing the function of us having regular bowel movements where it comes out through the bag, right? It's replacing an actual function. Um, and because they're prosthetic devices, they're supposed to be excluded from competitive bidding, but they're calling it durable medical equipment, not prosthetics. They changed the name of it to be able to throw it into competitive bidding because they're trying to stop the fraud. Like I said at the beginning of this, they're seeing cardiologists and family practitioners. They're billing all of these, they're not billing it, but these DMEs are billing all of these Medicaid, Medicare numbers that they get when they buy the DME using the physician NPI numbers, which is the physician identifying number, using that and trying to bill Medicare, Medicaid for supplies that they're not actually sending. And so the government's thing is, well, let's just make it where there's only 8 and we stop the fraud altogether, not realizing the long-term impacts of this, which we're talking about right now. Um, I don't know if you guys know this or not. Something I'm passionate about catheters. Like cathing is my jam. Really passionate about reducing UTIs and improving our health overall. 30% of all sepsis cases are from urological sepsis. 30% of all sepsis cases. Now, if there's 6,000 DMEs in the United States and we go to 8, and then we have these supply chain issues, like I said, that the diabetes situation with the pumps and the supplies, they had supply issues with people getting their actual supplies. If that happens to our community with catheter and ostomy supplies, we're in big trouble. The long-term impacts of this for our health as a whole, imagine if you get 200 catheters a month and then all of a sudden this goes into impact and you don't get your supplies for a month, 2 months. And now you're having to reuse your catheters because you have no other option because supplies aren't coming. That's not going to help your health. Again, worst case scenario, but this is legit can happen. We saw it happen with diabetes. We have the history. It's just with a different medical device, essentially. Again, it's going to cost jobs. It's going to make not only wheelchair users, but all these sales reps be unemployed. This customer services teams, things like that. Yeah, they could go to one of the 8, but it depends if they're willing to employ them. Um, and then again, taking away people with disabilities, taking away our jobs. Like, dang, it's hard enough for us to get a job the way it is, and now you want to take it away. Like, I enjoy not being on disability. I enjoy working full time, and it's like, dang it, you're gonna take that away from me. And so what can we do now? How do we stop this from happening? Um, you guys, we have to speak up. This is personal. This is personal for all of us or someone we love. Yeah, all of us have friends in the community, right? And even if you might not use all the supplies above, I have a lot of friends that use ostomy supplies. I don't, but I have friends that do. I have a lot of friends that cath, and it doesn't only impact me; it impacts all of us. So we have to speak up. We need to get our clinicians to speak up. When this link gets sent to your email, send it to your clinicians, like your urologist, urology nurse. Get them to email. A lot of them don't even know this is happening because, again, it was buried so deep in a home health bill that it's not even out there for everyone to see. So get your family to speak up, get your loved ones, anyone around you. What we're going to do after this is we're going to send you a template. Now read through the template because there's a place for you to put your own personal story in there. And then in there is also links for you to find your lawmaker for both in Congress and in the House. Both. Like you're literally all your lawmakers. You're going to contact them and you're going to send them this template and put your own personal story in there and attach your picture. And you're going to do that every week if you're able, but at least once a month. And you keep on reaching out to them because that's how we turn it around. I've had the experience myself of having a DME tell me that I couldn't get my supplies, and I'm a year into being paralyzed, and I'm like, what do you mean I can't pee on my own. I need my supplies. And now we're facing it again. I'm 11 years into this paralysis, and I'm like, wow, I'm being told that I might lose my supplies. And not only lose my supplies, but lose my job. I know what my body needs. I know what brand works for me. I've used every catheter brand on the market. I know what brand works for my body, no different than you know what brand works for your body. And the last thing you want to do is lose that. And you shouldn't be worried about losing that. And to the clinicians, it's really important that they're able to advocate for this. Their patients have choice and have access. And again, sharing the long-term impacts. If your patients are already dealing with UTIs and then all of a sudden they don't get their products and their supplies, holy crap, we're going to have a Mackenzie situation. Mackenzie literally said she was just hospitalized, borderline sepsis due to a UTI. Like it's already happening and we have access to the supplies. Yeah, in losing ostomy supplies, dude. Like, imagine having to like wash and reuse an ostomy bag over and over and over again. And then next thing you know, the bag starts to deteriorate and you're like, I don't know when I'm getting the rest of my supplies. Like, we shouldn't have to worry about this as a whole. Autumn said in the chat, they'll start to remember your name and they will. Keep on reaching out. Attach your picture to that thing. I recommend always putting a little selfie in there, a picture of you in your wheelchair, a picture of you with your catheter, right? Like humanize yourself to them. It's just going to the lawmakers. It's just going to the people making the choices. It's actually their workers or their staff. They're called staffers. It's to their staffers. And so what happens is it will go to their staffers and they raise awareness. The more that you email, the more you get your family to email and get your clinicians and everybody to email, the louder you are and the louder your people are, the more chance we have at stopping this from happening. It's really important that our clinicians actually get on board with this as well because, dude, like we need support here. It can't just be us. But yeah, let me grab my other note here. I had a whole plan. I want to make sure I have everything before we dive into questions. Oh, I got a little more for you guys. The difference of a DME that gets it. Um, like I said, I'm a supplier. Or I worked for a supplier. I used our services before I started working for them. And I loved how it was. Most orders, they can get gloves and wipes out. And I'm like, yo, if I don't have to pay for all my gloves for the month and I can get some wipes and not have to pay for all of them, like just to help me get through, I'll take it. It saves money. There's no manufacturer loyalty, so you get all the options because your care comes first. It's about you. If you need urological, ostomy, and wound care supplies, you can get it all from one place. We have 25 plus state coverage across Medicaid, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Med Cost, all the things, and you can text me. And then if you guys need anything, the number's right here. And then you can find us at wheelwithme.fit. That's Nikki and I. But text this number, call or text it. I'll also drop it in the chat. And some of you guys did get a text from me. Like, reach out. Let's talk about this. It's so important that we have conversations about competitive bidding, about our experiences and the negativities we've already experienced around these supplies, because that's how we raise awareness and get change. We have to start using our voice in a constructive way of like, hey, this is what's happening. This is how it's negatively going to impact. And then hit the point of, it's actually going to cost you more money. If people are getting sick and they're on Medicaid, Medicare, and they're getting sick because you took away their right to choose, it's going to cost a lot more money for everybody. So I'm gonna put this number in the chat for you guys. Feel free to text me if you, oh wow, I don't know why I put the dash in there, but feel free to text me, call me if you guys want to talk more on this topic. If you want to switch your supplier, if you have questions about your supplies, questions about what's available to you, all the above. But now I'm going to go ahead and open it up for questions. Feel free to unmute yourself. I'm going to unpin myself. Um, and this is the time, like this is where we ask questions. Like I said, we went and talked, we lobbied in DC last year. I think Brianna just joined. Bree and I lobbied in DC, and every single office we went into, they didn't even know this was happening. They weren't even aware. And then we wrote to OMB, that's where the final decision was made, and they also just didn't really respond or care. So that's why it's like, hey, we have to start talking about this louder. We need to bring it up with every single person that either uses supplies or is able to. We need to be emailing on a regular basis. So, like I said, you're getting a template and then a replay of this to share with people, share the YouTube link, be loud, have conversations because we only have we're 3 months into the year, 9 months left to truly try and get this turned around and stopped it from happening. And we still have 2 years left under our current administration before the administration switches. And even when the administration switches, it doesn't mean that it's going to change for us. And so very, very important. Yes, the bill is listed on the template. I also have it listed somewhere here. Let me get it to you. And like I said, you guys feel free to unmute and question. I'm gonna drop that in here. I have it on my notes. Does anyone have any other questions? While I get my notes. I gotta find that. Honestly, I should have had the home health bill ready to go for you guys, and I'm sorry. Oh, here it is. Okay, yep. It's federal registration document. Register document 2025 dash 21767 section 8. There you go. Jamie, I sent that in the chat for you. So if you guys wanted to look it up yourself, like I said, it's buried deep, dude, and it's sporadically through that home health bill. The one thing I'm very open about is that I will educate myself and read bills and read laws and read things. And sometimes to a fault. And so this was no different for me, especially because we had been lobbying on it now. It will be a year in May that we started really lobbying against this and talking about it. And so yeah, we have to educate ourselves and see what's happening. And this is something that affects people bigger than the spinal cord injury population. This isn't just about spinal cord injuries. This is like our spina bifida community, just our chronic illness community. It's all of us, and it's the time that we put our differences aside and truly band together as a unit. And regardless of if you like the person you're working with or not. Like, I know I'm not everybody's fan favorite, and I'm cool with that, but I'm willing to band together and really work together as a team to truly keep moving forward and get better. Caitlin, shoot me a text and you and I will talk about that too. It's been a while since we chatted. We need to chat anyways. Little update. Um, no, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight too. Like I said, this is an open time for questions if anyone has anything. I hope that it was self-explanatory. I am going to send the presentation in the email as well. So you will get a recording link, a template of what to send, how to send, like verbiage and like where to put your own. Like I said, read through the template because you have to put your own personal information in there. There's like a little italic part that you just remove and insert your stuff. And then this presentation will all be attached to that email for you guys. So that way you can look back at it, see the different things, and truly start to advocate to make the difference, because we really, like, this is urgent, you guys. I posted in a support group about this, um, and somebody told me I was fear mongering. And I'm like, nope, not fear mongering. It just hasn't went into effect yet. So we're not impacted by it. We have the opportunity to turn it around. So we're not impacted by it. That's the biggest thing. Like, we have to advocate. We cannot wait for this to happen. We can't wait for them to put it into effect. We need to turn it around and make it not get put into effect. Because again, like, Bree uses a end user owned and operated supply company out of South Florida. I work for one. I'm a rep. I go into offices on a regular basis. Like, we're all going to be impacted by this at some point, some way. You might not be able to contact your company. You might not be able to get your supplies. Like, this is urgent. Tell your friends to tell a friend to tell a friend. We have to. I know I'm like a broken record right now, but you guys, this is some scary stuff. When you start looking into the research on the diabetes, like, if you guys have some time, dive into the black hole of diabetes and competitive bidding, and you will see just how scary this is. Truly.
Will the title of the bill be in the email?
What the bill's called?
Yeah.
Yep. Yep, that will be included.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Angie. Well, this was a little short presentation. I just anticipated more questions. I know I feel like I kind of went fast. I was a little nervous. It's been a while since I've done this, guys. Well, if no one else has any questions, I'll let you all out for the rest of your night. Thank you again for joining tonight. If you guys, please join our other empowerments. There's so many amazing presenters this week. Such cool information. You know, I think tomorrow was starting a nonprofit, going back to work, and getting back to life. Wednesday is exciting. We have Chris with aerobics. Love us some aerobics. Thursday, Blue Copper Design. She is a interior designer that focuses on accessibility. And you guys, if you don't follow her Instagram, it's literally the most beautiful showers. I'm like, I want one of these showers so bad. They're beautiful.
Me too. Me too. Every time I'm like, give me that. They're so beautiful.
Okay, the most recent one she posted too, with all
I
the
know. I'm
With
glass.
like,
the tub
literally,
in it?
stop it.
Yes.
Stop it. I just want it. I want it all.
And then on Friday, we have the DJ coming back, but he's not DJing this Friday. He's actually going to be empowering, which is going to be a nice, fun little change. I got to meet him when I was in Long Beach for the Abilities Expo, and so that's exciting stuff. Some upcoming events that we have in person. And if you guys are in North Carolina on the 25th of this month, there is a meetup in Winston-Salem. It's going to be a good time. Look for it to be posted on Wheel with Me Foundation's page. Next month is our annual grill and chill. So we're going to be grilling and chilling on May 16th at a park here in North Carolina. That will also be posted on our page. And then if you want to work out with Nikki and I, we do live workouts in our app every week on Wednesdays and Fridays. And then we also are leading workouts at the Abilities Expos, our next one being New York, New Jersey. And then we are coming to Chicago to come see you guys. So we hope to connect with you in real life, but if not, be sure to reach out to us online, either at Wheel With Me Foundation, at wheelwithme.fit, or me. I'm Jesi Stracham, looks like Stracham. And if you guys have any questions again about this competitive bidding stuff, please reach out to me. We can hop on a call, we can talk about it, and figure out how we are going to be the change we truly want to see in this world. Like, it comes down to us, guys. We got to band together as a community. That is how we create true change, putting our differences aside and truly getting after it.
Thank you.
No, thank you guys. Have a great night. Can't wait to see you at the rest of the week for these empowerments. And thank you. Thank you for being here. Big love. Bye, guys.